So hello everyone, it is your girl Gel Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today we gonna get into my rearranging palettes. Now if y'all remember, I like to recreate palettes and change shades around the palettes when I don't like the color story of them. So this week's episode is going to be Colourpop. So I did all 5 of these Colourpop palettes. I changed the shades around to what I wanted them to look like. Funny enough, I have the That's Tote palette, and I feel like it looks really similar to the Quartz palette. So we'll see how that goes, because I'm going to end up getting it just because I want to compare it to myself. Plus, I want to see if it'll be just as good as the Mary Jane, and then people don't have to pay as much for Mary Jane. Plus, I heard some people didn't like Mary Jane that much. So anyway, let's start off with the At Foresight palette by Raw Beauty Christy. So you remember she had that black shimmery shade in the end. I didn't really like that shade, so I just popped out the brown shade from the Mirror palette and put it in here, just because I'm like, I wanted a darker outer V shade to go with these, but I didn't have like a deep enough plummy shade in any of the other Colourpop palettes that I have already dismantled to make it work. So I just put this one in there, and that's how I recreated this one. So I didn't do too much of anything other than taking out that shimmery sparkly black shade, just because I didn't like it. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't like the color of that shade, and I didn't want that shade with glitter in my palette, so I got rid of it. So another one, the next one I have is a really old palette. This is a Fema Rose palette, or She Press palette with Colourpop and Karuchi. So I took these 2 shades out. I'm trying to remember where this shade came from. If I remember correctly, this one came from what do you call it? It's reflective, so it's hard to show. But this one, I'm pretty sure it came from the, it's either from the peach palette. What is the peach palette called? The Sweet Talk palette, or it came from the Garden Variety. One of those. I think it's called Garden Variety. Isn't that what it's called? Anyway, this one came from there, and then this purple came from there. So I took both of those out, and then I'm pretty sure I took the shade at the bottom out too and replaced it with something else. I think this. I'm trying to remember what palette this came from, because it came from obviously another Colourpop palette. I just don't remember what it is, but that's how I switched mine around, because that's not how this originally looks. But I like the way it looks better now. This palette is super old though, so I probably won't put it on my eyes, because you know, Karuchi's palette have came out with like at least 2 years ago, and like I've had it just sitting up, so I don't plan on using it. Next one is the Little Ray of Sunshine. Now I had those 2 really light shades in it that I wasn't feeling, so I just took them out and replaced them with shimmers, because I have a darker brown here. Now you have like a shimmer up here, you have a shimmer up here, and this color was already in the palette. It was actually over here, and I just moved it here so that way I could have this look the way I wanted to. I know this is supposed to be an all matte palette, but you know, sometimes you want shimmers, and since I didn't like the 2 super light shades that they had at the top, I just replaced them with shimmers that would work better for my skin tone. Plus now I have an inner corner color, which could be this one right here, or this one right here, or I could just put either one of them on the lid and replace the other one with the inner corner and still have plenty of these yellow mattes to choose from. So now I have an all yellow palette over here pretty much for the most part at my grandmother's house when I want to do yellow looks, because my honey palette is at home. The next one I did was the Making Mauve palette. So this is what she looks like now. I took another purple shimmer from somewhere. I think I took this one out of the Candyland palette and put it in here, and then this one I took from the Candyland palette as well too, but I think these colors came from the Sweet Talk palette, and I just put them in here. And I think this color was already in here if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure it was, even though I feel like it looks really similar to this one, so I feel like we don't need both of them, but I just left it in there because I couldn't think of anything else to put. And the rest of the palette is original, but I just like this pop of purple and like this peachy-esque shade, because I feel like it still makes it somewhat mauvey, if you will, and it doesn't have to be a whole cool toned moment. So that's how I made mine look, but you all can let me know if you think it looks okay, or if you think I should do something different. So the last one I have is the That's Tote palette. So what I did was I mainly took a lot of the colors out of the I Think I Love You palette from Colourpop that they don't make anymore, because since they don't make it anymore and I like some of the colors in there, I felt like they would go well in here. Like I took the black from the I Think I Love You, and that's how we got a black in this palette now. I took this shimmer right here from there. I'm trying to think, what else did I take from here? I think I took one more color in here. I might have, I might not have. I honestly don't remember. I feel like I took at least 2 colors out of there. I think I took a brown from somewhere else and put that right here too. Don't quote me though. But I like the way this palette looks a whole lot better now, because now I have that lighter grayish tone to dust over this darker brown or this darker black, or I can use this shade to dust over here and just use this cooler tone shade to dust over the black, and still have all these different shimmers to choose from. So I have this lighter shimmer to put in the inner corner. I have this darker brown shimmer to use with this little section right here. And then I have this cool tone one to go with this or with this. So I really like this one the best out of all the ones I redid. This one and I think the Fema Rose She palette are probably my favorites. But let me know what you think down below. Did you all like these palette changes, or what would you have changed about them, or do you think I should just kept them the way they were? I like experimenting and changing color stories around because I think it's fun. It's my way of like making my own palette, if you will. So that's why I do it. I was inspired by UOMA Beauty to start doing it though, because I was like, yeah, there are certain colors and palettes that I don't like, and so I just started switching around the Colourpop ones mainly though. But if you also, I have done Mented Cosmetics ones as well, and then the Natasha Denona ones as well. So I like doing it. I think it's really fun, and I'm glad I found her channel and I got inspired to do it because I like some of the color stories I've come up with. But those are all the palettes I have for you all today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.